Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I am going to read S5 5076. I wonder why chestnuts wear shoes. What are a horse's good points? When people talk about a horse's points, they mean the different parts of its body, such as its muzzle or its tail. The overall shape and arrangement of a horse's whole body is called its conformation. The forelock, paw, mane, crest, withers, back, loins, croup, quarters, dock, tail, coronet, pastern, vellock, hock, flank, thigh, belly, cannon bone, hoof, heel, forearm, elbow, shoulder, breast, neck, cheek, nostril, muzzle. Do horses have hands? Not in the same way that you do. A horse's hands are the unit used to measure its height from the ground to its withers. One hand equals about 10 centimeters. Pony is a small horse that measures 14.2 hands or less. How can you tell a horse's age? Horses mainly eat grass, and munching away at this sort of tough plant food is very hard on teeth. Experts can get a good idea of a horse's age by looking at the weight teeth are wearing as it gets older. How can you tell if a horse is happy? Although horses can talk like we do, you can tell how a horse is feeling from its body language. A happy horse will hold its head and its tail up high. For example, do horses like company? They certainly do. Horses love hanging out in a herd. That's what we call a group of horses. When is a horse a dam? A mare is called a dam when she has baby. The babies are called foals, and a foal's father is its sire. Usually, a mother horse gives birth to one foal at a time, after carrying it inside her for about a year. Horses are sometimes bred with donkeys. A mule has a donkey sire and a horse dam, while a hiney has a horse sire and a donkey dam. However, mules and hineys can have babies of their own. Oh boy. What is tack? Tack is the kit a horse wears so that people can ride it. The main pieces are the bridle for its head and the saddle for its back. How do saddles help horses? Saddles aren't just a comfy seat for the rider. They are also good for the horse. That's because the saddle helps put the rider's weight in the best position for the horse. Why do riders wear hard hats? A rider's hard hat is like a motorcyclist's crash helmet. It's designed to protect the head if a rider falls off and hits the ground. Which side of a horse do you mount? Most riders mount on the left. That means the horse is to your left. When you're standing facing its tail, you put your left foot in the stirrup, spring off your right foot, and swing your right leg up and over the horse's back. How fast do horses move? We've only two ways of moving, walking and running, but horses have four: walking, trotting, cantering, and galloping. The fastest is the gallop, when horses can belt along at well over 30 kilometers per hour. Walk about as fast as you do, at about 6 kilometers per hour. Trotting horse does about 14 kilometers per hour. Cantering horse can manage as much as 18 kilometers per hour. At the gallop, horse can travel at over 30 kilometers per hour. How do you dismount? Once you can mount, you need to know how to get off again. Take both feet out of the stirrups, lean forwards Swing your right foot over the horse's back and jump gently down onto the ground. How high can horses jump? The highest fences in a top-level show jumping competition can be 2 meters or more taller than the horse. The aim of riding a show jumping course is to get around it without knocking down any of the fences. Where do horses play game? Gymkhana is a riding competition with mounted games for single riders and team. With games like the sack race and flag race, it's rather like a school sports day. What is dressage? Dressage is a special series of movements designed to show how well a horse and its riders work together. The movements include riding in a circle, a figure of 8, and a curved shape called a serpentine. Why do horses need grooming? Grooming a horse helps keep its coat, skin, and feel clean and healthy. Most horses love being groomed, so it is also a great way for a horse and rider to make friends. Watch out, some horses are ticklish. How often do horses need to eat? Horses need feeding little and often because their stomachs are small for their size. They may need grass or hay, which is dried grass. Why do horses wear shoes? Horseshoes stop hooves being damaged by hard surfaces such as roads. The shoes are usually made of steel, and the person who makes and fits them is called a farrier. How many kinds of horses are there? Which are the smallest horses? Ponies, of course, and the world's tiniest breed is the Vella. Small birds are measured in centimeters, not hands, and bellas grow to only about 75 centimeters high. Which are the biggest horses? The giants of the horse world and the group of breeds known as heavy horses. The giant of these heavy horses breed is a Shire. Shire horses grow to around 17 inches high and it can weigh as much as a ton. Tallest ever horse was Shire, born in 1846. By the time it was 6, it measured 21.25 hands. Were horses around in dinosaur time? No, the earliest known horse appeared on Earth about 50 million years ago, 15 million years after the dinosaurs died out. It's called a Hyracotherium, and it was tiny, about the size of a fox. When did people first tame horses? The first step in the taming of wild horses was to keep herds for their meat. This was happening by about 6,000 years ago. Another few hundred years passed before people worked out how to train horses for riding. Are there any wild horses left today? There's only one breed of horse around now that's descended from the wild horses of prehistoric time. It is called the Przeworski's horse, after the Russian explorer who rediscovered it in Mongolia in the 1880s. When did horses chase lion? In ancient Egyptian times, around 3,000 years ago. Lions roamed the Egyptian desert. Wealthy noblemen loved nothing better than a day spent hunting these ferocious wild animals, racing after them across the sand in a horse-drawn chariot. Why is Bucephalus famous? The black stallion Bucephalus was the warhorse of Alexander the Great, ruler of Macedonia and one of the greatest generals of all time. And Bucephalus died in 327. Alexander built a city and named it Bucephalia in his honor. What kind of horse did knights ride? In medieval times, knights rode nimble, fast-moving horses into battle. These war horses were about the same size as a modern show jumper. Knights rode a larger, heavier horse when they fought in mock battles called the joust. Which horse had wings? Ancient Greeks told marvelous stories about the exploits of a magical winged horse called Pegasus and its rider Bellerophon. The most famous adventure was killing the Chimera, a three-headed fire-breathing monster that was part lion, part goat, and part snake. What was a centaur? The ancient Greeks believed in all sorts of strange creatures. For example, centaurs who were half man and horse. Most centaurs were wild and dangerous. But Chiron was a wise old centaur who was supposed to have taught legendary Greek heroes such as Jason, whose horse had 8 legs. The Vikings called the chief of the gods Odin. They believed he rode an 8-legged horse called Sleipnir, which could gallop across land, sea, and sky. How do you catch a unicorn? In medieval time, people loved the stories about unicorn, magical horses with a long pointed horn on their forehead. People believed you could catch one by sending a maiden alone into the forest. When the unicorn came across the maiden, he would lay his hand in her lap and fall asleep. How did horses pull their weight? Horses did nearly all the heavy work because before trains and motor cars were invented in the 19th century. They pulled cartloads of goods and carried loads of people. They even hauled canal boats. When the stagecoaches began running, stagecoaches began carrying people between big towns and cities in the 17th century. Like trains and buses today, they were used by anyone who could afford a fare. Why is the Pony Express famous? Although it only operated for the 2 years from 1860 to 61, the USA's Pony Express company was world famous for its high-speed mail delivery service. Its riders carried the letters and packages twice as fast as any stagecoach. What kind of work do horses do today? You're much taller than the rest of the crowd when you're mounted on a horse, and you can move faster than someone on the foot. These are the 2 good reasons for horses to work for city police forces the world over. Which horses do cowhands ride? Different horse breeds are ridden in different countries around the world. Some people of the best 4-legged workers are the Camargue pony of France, Australian stock horse, the Criollo of Argentina, and the quarter horse and Mustang of the USA and Mexico. Which are the fastest horses? Racehorses are the kings of speed. A galloping racehorse can pound around the course with a jockey on its back at over 60 kilometers per hour. What is a steeplechase? In a steeplechase, horses have to jump fences, ditches, and other obstacles as they race around the course. Course without obstacles is a flat race. Who sits in a circuit? Jockeys do for the sport called the harness racing. Circuit is a modern-day mini chariot which is attached to the horse by tag called a harness. The jockey perches on a seat over the circus wheels and guides the horse with extra long reins. Can horses dance? Lipizaners are the ballet dancers of the horse family, and the place to see them in action is a Spanish riding school in Vienna, Austria. The school's beautiful white horses are world famous for their skillful grace at performing tricky dressage movement. Which horses were film stars? Horses have starred in hundreds of movies. Where would westerns be without them? For example, horses famous for their solo include Black Beauty and Champion the Wonder Horse, as well as the Lone Rangers, Mount Silver, and Roy Rogers Trigger. What is a chukka? Chukka is one of the 7.5 minute blank periods in polo. This sport is one of the world's fastest and most dangerous and other thrilling place to watch horses and their riders in action. Who rides the bucking bronco? Cowhands do in competition called rodeo. Bronco is an untamed horse. Cowhand tests the riding skill by trying to stay on a bronco's back for a few seconds, bareback or with a saddle. The end.